Hi everyone, so today I bring you an iPad 4 with a cracked screen, so let's take care of removing it and placing a new touch screen on it. So we start by heating up the adhesive below the glass and we start to pry it up with some spudgers. It will eventually break up, so be careful with glasses and protect your eyes, because it's necessary in this case, because the glasses, they fly everywhere. One thing you should do when you do a job like this is to put some cellar tape on the glass itself, so that it doesn't shred everywhere. So I should have done this straight away, and I just remembered to do this now. So let's keep going. So the only thing is, if you need to heat up the adhesive a little more when you have the cellar tape on the glass, you just need to lift it up in order to heat it up a little bit. Okay, careful with your fingers, don't let the cellar tape touch the heat gun, otherwise it will melt. So we do this procedure throughout the whole frame of the iPad, so that eventually we break it up and open it. So once done, we lift it. If the button is facing you, it's to your left. If the button is on the up there part, it's to your right, as it is here. Okay, so beware of that because of the cables. that connect the button. You won't need the cable that connects to the screen itself, because we will throw it out, but remember that. So next step is remove the screws from the screen itself. If they are covered by glass, be careful, don't cut yourself while lifting the glass to remove the screws. There are 4 screws, one on each corner of the screen, and they are Phillips screws. So once you have all the screws removed, lift the screen up towards the glass, okay? Because it also has a flex cable that is connected to the motherboard through a connector with a little plastic tab that we need to lift. Alright? Use either a spudger, a nail, or a tweezer in order to lift that little plastic tab up without breaking it. This flex cable also has a security sticker that we need to take out before we remove it completely, because it is connecting the connector and the cable so that it stays in place. The exact same thing applies to the cable that connects to the touch glass, okay? Careful with it. Not that we will need it, but we need the connector to be intact. In this model, we also need to do the same for the flex cable that connects the button, the home button, okay? I did not show it here, I'm not sure why, probably I did not film it, I thought I did, and now that I'm doing the edition of the video, I saw that I don't have that part, but just remember that, okay? So we will then need to harvest the button from the iPad 4, because this new screen that I bought, it is for the iPad 3. The connection is the same, so they just put the button there, but for the Model 3, not for the Model 4 that we have. So we need to harvest the button, otherwise it will not work. That's what I'm doing now. Unfortunately, it was off the camera, but basically you just need to remove the glue from beneath the button and then pull it out. So this part is basically remove all the glass that is still attached to the frame of the iPad, and eventually remove the glue, but this part just focus on the glass so that nothing is there when we put the new screen on. So it's always good to turn it upside down and knock it a few times so that no glasses stay inside the device. Otherwise it may disrupt the function or pierce the battery, something like that. Also give it a good brush just in case something is stuck, as we could see there. There's plenty of glass stuck with glue inside the device, so make sure that nothing stays in. So in order for the new glass, when we put it to be really well done, we need to make sure that the corners of the frame are all straightened up, because these are a bit mushed because of the falls it had. That's why the screen was all broken. So make sure to put these in place before attaching a new screen, otherwise it will not be very well connected to the frame, and it may break or even get unglued, let's say that. So with the new screen in place, we need to put the button, the old button, on the new screen. So we need to remove the new button and put the old button in, which is basically ungluing the button that is there and gluing ours. Okay, if you don't know how to do it, you just remove it with a bit of isopropyl alcohol. In this case, you just pull it out with a spudger and or your own nail, something like that, and then just put a little bit of cellar tape that glues to both faces so that the button stays in place. So we now go around with a Q-tip with isopropyl alcohol to remove the remains of the old glue. It is important to remove it because if the old glue is there and it's tainted with remains of whatever it is, the new glue on the screen will not attach to the frame and will have some dust inside and stuff like that, and we don't want that. Once that is done, we now put the old screen, the screen itself, inside the iPad. We put it back on the connector and close the little plastic tab and put the sticker back on, and so on and so forth until we have the iPad fully connected. So here we see a lot of hair, but what I'm doing is connecting the touch screen to the connector and closing the tabs and doing all that. With that part done, what I'm doing now is testing the touch screen if it works. In this case it does work. I was just seeing if it was not decentral. Now I touched it and it's working, so all seems to be good. I just don't have the code for this iPad. The owner did not give it to me and I didn't ask, so it doesn't make a difference as long as everything works. You see, it's right on top, so that's good. So now we put the button cable back onto the motherboard. There's a small sticker that we need to remove in order to put the cable back on. So we are doing that right now. The easier way to do this, because the cable is very small and the gap where you need to put it is also very tight, you use a pair of tweezers like the ones I have, and you put it in to the connector and close the little tab. It takes a bit of practice, but eventually you'll get there. So once done, we connect everything back on, the touch, the screen, and we arrange the cables in order for them to be very well tight. We put the stickers back on so that the flex cables don't go off, and we close everything up. So we put the screws back in place. Unfortunately, I lost one of the screws. It probably went attached to some piece of glass and glue, and I only have 3. It's not a big issue, but if you have 4, it's always better. Before closing up, remember to clean all the debris that may be on the screen and on the touch. Otherwise, when you start using it, you'll eventually see some bits here and there, and that's a bit of an annoying thing. So we now take out the plastic that is covering the glue for this screen so that we put it back in place. When gluing the screen back on, please pay attention to this part. Make sure that the edges of the touch screen are on the edges of the frame. Otherwise, if it is not central, it will be a bit of a mess because it will not glue. And if it does not glue, as it did glue here, so but it was not central. So make sure that everything is correct before closing the iPad. Otherwise, to go back in, you may need to break the glass, and we don't want to break a new glass. So we connect the iPad, remove this plastic film. The plastic film left a lot of glue on the screen, unfortunately. It is a bit of a pain in the ass to take it out, but we have to do it. I just used then a bit of alcohol with a disc of cotton. As you can see, the button is working, numbers are working, everything is okay. So hope you enjoyed. Glad you did watch the video until the end. Leave a subscribe, please, and put a like and tick that bell in case you want to see any notifications from me. So have a good one. See you all, and goodbye.